I've got a 22 Pro R4 front diff tore down here. Actually took video taking it apart and didn't turn out very good because my ultrasonic parts washer was running and it messed up all the audio. But these things should be pretty strong. The 22 model I haven't had very good luck with. I just put a 23 in mine. My first one actually stripped the ring gear teeth out, and then this one, it changed oil in it. It had quite a bit of metal. The pinion hold down in the case it actually backed off. It's this ring here. It locks your pinion down in there. Your pinion bearing all sits in there. So these diffs are a little different than typical Polaris. They're more like a normal automotive style with a locker. So you got your hub here that bolts to your ring gear. Okay, so then this has all your spider gears in it. You got your 4 spider gears. You got 1 full cross pin and then 2 half pins that hold in these little holes with these 3 little pins, and they can be a pain to get out because there's no way to drive them out through the back side. Okay, so how these front diffs work, it'll actually unlock the front drive shaft with this here, locks in. This is your input shaft, and this will lock in here. This actuator arm will pull it in and out. So that's how it locks and unlocks. Okay, these solenoids or fail engaged, so if your solenoid fails, it will stay engaged. So, and the solenoids for the engagement on the shaft and then the engagement of your locker seem to be the same part number. Okay, so here's the pinion gear. You can see on this one it chewed it up a little bit on the inside because it was actually letting this walk around in here because that hold down wasn't good. So got a new bearing to put here on the pinion support and a new bearing all from Sandcraft here. We got one of their kits. Just like it comes with some Polaris seals. So maybe some, I think they might have been SKF bearings. So, and then how this thing locks, your ring gear on your drum here, you know, this is all bolted down, then this guy sets in this, your outer cover, this, sorry, my shim out of the way. So this will set in here, and then this guy just, if that solenoid presses in here, and it'll lift this arm out. And what that does, it'll make this one spider gear, once it gets centered up with this, which that'd be inside of that. Sorry, it's kind of hard with everything taken apart, but you know, this would be inside of here like this, and this would be on here. And then once them line up, see that lines up, and then that'll pushes it. When that's pushed in, it'll lock those together, or basically it locks the spider gears where they can't move. So what I will say is when you lock these things in, you kind of need to be able to give them a rotation without slipping or being underneath a lot of pressure, because you could eat the teeth off of these here, the locking mechanism on this. It's just like a dog in a transmission. You round them edges off, you're pretty well screwing the pooch. So this one, when I changed oil in it, had a lot of metal, had quite a bit of brass, which the reason I decided to take this drum and the ring gear and spider gears apart is because all these bearings inside the spider gears is brass with a coating. So you can see that's probably where most of my brass came from. Now, the shop that I bought this from gave me the AMSOIL universal front diff fluid, which really ain't the right oil for this thing. It needs to have a, true gear oil in it. That's probably what actually destroyed the bearings on this. But it also didn't help that had a hold down for your pinion gear. Because that holds your pinion down in the case, had backed out. So once we get the new bearings in this one, I'm going to actually probably ping this hold down, plus definitely get some Loctite on it. Okay, this nut on your pinion is like 1 7/8 will work. It's probably not the exact fit for it. Then so we'll get all these bearings changed and get her put back together and try and check the backlash and stuff on it, make sure it's still in spec. I'm a little bit worried about the pinion gear, so it's ate up a little bit, but this thing is just going to be a last case scenario spare, because like I said, we put the 23 front diff in and it's definitely bigger. Whole casing's bigger, the bolts come up higher. This rib is actually removed on the top because the bolts are that high up, so the ring gear is probably a bit bigger inside of it. Didn't take it apart because it shouldn't have had to. It's a brand new front diff basically. So if you guys are wondering how these Pro R diffs work, that's a little bit of rundown. I'll try and get a little more footage when I go back together with it. I'm waiting on the bushings for these spider gears here. Definitely going to change them out and then put this thing back together. So thanks for watching, guys. If you like seeing this garage type stuff, please like or subscribe. Thanks again.